I think every day I'm really thankful for the opportunity. This is a great ecosystem, a great time, a great space. And I'm working with really good friends who are some of the smartest people I know.
Hey you guys, it's me again, the MetaVerse Explorer. I am back again with another interview. We have with us Benchow from the Jupiter team. So I don't know if you guys have heard about Jupiter. They are the #1 kind of aggregator for your swapping on Solana at the moment. On the left-hand side, we have Benchow by video call. And on the right-hand side, we have the Jupiter Twitter. They've got 6,000 followers. And we can also see the Jupiter website at the moment here. And following this interview, I'll give you a small tutorial on how to swap on Jupiter. Benchow, how are you going?
I'm doing well. Right now I'm in Lisbon, just preparing for Solana's breakpoint. It's beautiful and great here, but super busy.
Oh, that's awesome. Have you been able to meet up with anyone else at the moment? How long have you been there?
I've actually been here since Monday, and I actually plan to stay for the month. I've met up with a few people, but frankly, I've been so busy. I've just been working nonstop. So
that's good. Dedicated. So So I guess we'll get right into it, Benchow. So can you tell us about yourself, actually, about your history in crypto and how you got into Solana or how you got working at Jupiter?
Yeah, that's a great story. So actually, Jupiter. The team behind Jupiter is the same team behind Mercurial, and Mercurial is actually my first crypto project.
Nice.
So I'm actually quite new to crypto.
It's gone really well.
But I'm sort of, it's gone really well. I think every day I'm really thankful for the opportunity. This is a great ecosystem, a great time, a great space. And I'm working with really good friends who are some of the smartest people I know.
Nice.
So my background is, I started off life as a product designer at IDEO. But I'm like an OG startup veteran. I've done a number of startups. I was most recently the co-founder COO of a social startup that was a top 100 social app on the App Store.
Cool.
And
can I ask the name of that app?
Oh yeah. The name of that app was Friended.
Oh, okay.
One of my bigger successes was I did a true venture-backed startup that ended up being a social gaming startup that we grew to tens of millions of users and sold to Disney played them a while ago. So
you got some history there.
So yeah. So I'm sort of a kind of a veteran startup operator, and that's actually how I know the other co-leads in Mercurial and Jupiter. We all knew each other from Silicon Valley. I actually met Ming at the incubator that Instagram came out of before they were Instagram. And we just hit it off, man. He was like, he's like one of the smartest, most dynamic of people that I know. And we just stayed friends. So I've been friends with them for a long time now. And those guys are kind of the true OG, so they were team or strategic advisor to a number of DeFi apps, WBTC, Instadap, Blockfolio, Kyber,
awesome.
And a number of others. So they were the ones who like pulled me into this world. They're like, hey, we're doing this thing. Do you want to come in? And I'm like, and I was thinking, like, actually, to be honest, like, I'd always been crypto curious. And I was thinking, if I was going to do crypto ever, I couldn't think of a better way to do it, than with some good friends that I really respect. So
yeah, you need a good team behind you, a good bunch of friends next to you, like building products that's needed.
Yeah.
So that's about your team. Talk to us about Jupiter itself, and maybe Mercurial if you're happy to talk about them. What's Jupiter? What is the product you guys are trying to build here?
Yeah. So Jupiter is a swap aggregator. And basically what that means is that we will aggregate all the liquidity in every AMM and DEX on Solana in order to find you the best price, the best rates for any token that you want to buy or sell. So any token pair. And it was, it was actually, born out of Mercurial. We had actually started building a cross protocol Serum integrated swap feature to help bring more utility to our stables.
Yep.
So that way, like, yep, and that way, like, if you're holding UST or Pi or something, or any like new stable token, usually there's not a lot of utility. Like, everyone's always asking, like, what do I do with this thing, right?
Yep, that's right.
So the initial goal was like, all right, what we can do is like, let's connect to Serum so we can allow people to trade them for other tokens that they may be interested in, that they may want to trade for in order to use another dApp or something. So so we did that, and that was very successful. Like, people really loved the functionality. We got a lot of great feedback, and we just, one of the things that sort of drove Jupiter was realizing, like, this thing deserves to be its own protocol. Yep. Because it's sort of limited just being under the umbrella of stables. So
yeah, it's too wide.
It's too wide. We can now route any token pair. So
yep.
And bring, I think the other reason was like timing. Like right now, a lot of AMMs and DEXs are just, they're growing their liquidity.
Yeah.
A lot of tokens are coming online. Like all the tokens that that are growing, and the thing is, like, it's kind of a pain in the butt to, like, well, I mean, for some people who are like, they'll go on Orca, they'll go on Radium, they want to compare which one's going to give me the best thing. Sometimes one is better than the other. Sometimes, like, you need to hop a couple times, like, to get to the token you really want to get to.
Frustrating.
Or sometimes the liquidity is actually spread out, in a couple different pools. Maybe there's a small pool in Orca, there's a small pool in Radium, there's maybe a small pool in DEX Labs, and so I mean, this is a lot of work that most people don't want to do, to, like, navigate between all these different interfaces and figure out which one is going to be the best one, or how to split the trades up so you can get the best deal. And the awesome part of the work that we're doing is that we are doing all that for you automatically within a single transaction and on chain. So the beauty of that is that you just put in the token, the token that you're looking for, that you're going to trade, and we're going to do all that work in a single click, in a single transaction. And if it for some reason exceeds your slippage, or something changes, where the liquidity is different or the rates are different, that transaction will fail, and everything will roll back, and it, you just try again, right? You don't have to deal with anything.
Yeah, I mean, like, speaking from a retail point of view, for me using Jupiter itself, it has been super clean to use. I think you guys have really nailed at least the user interface and stuff. I can't speak to the back end that you guys have done, but I have on the right hand side of the screen here, we're swapping 10,000 USDT to Serum, and it tells us actually which pools it's swapping through. We're looking at Mercurial and Serum at the moment, and it saves me $6, which is really good. I think you guys have nailed the UI on this.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a lot of work. Actually, we did our soft launch several weeks ago, partly to deal with some of the quirks of abstracting the DEXs. So, especially Serum. Serum has a number of little things that, if you don't trade on a DEX and you're just sort of like, you just are used to the simplicity of a swap, you don't really understand, like, the idea of, like, oh, I have to pay rent and open up all these accounts to trade, and so, we did a lot of work to try to simplify that, make that clear for users, and there's still a lot of work to be done, but we hope we've made it really easy for people.
Yeah, it has been easy, because at the bottom of this page, it tells you kind of the rates we're going to get, the fees that Mercurial gets, Serum gets, the transaction fees. So, like, for me, like, to just look at this, it makes it so much easier. So that brings me to one of my next questions, is that I think you guys are nailing this at the moment, but competition is always out there. There is another aggregator out there called Leaffinity. Do you guys know of this, guys? And do you have any other competitors in mind that you're aware?
They're the one. I think there's another one. I think it's Atlas Finance. Theirs is not out on mainnet yet. So Lifinity is probably the only one that's the only other person that I'm aware of that's actually out on mainnet.
Yep, that's right. And I know for sure that they don't integrate as many with as many of the different protocols as you guys do. You guys integrate with Orca, Radium, Serum, Mercurial, Atrix. Are you guys going to be integrating with Atrix very soon?
We'll do Atrix. We also still have to do Saber as well.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, those guys, we have a lot of respect for them. I think they've done a good job. Under the hood, we're both kind of doing different things, actually. But from sort of a UI perspective, I think they've done a really great job on the UI, and I'm glad to see them. I'm glad to see. I've actually been surprised that there aren't much, I was actually expecting a lot more competition. But,
Yeah, because everyone's favorite on Ethereum is 1inch, but you guys seem to be spearheading the aggregation on Solana, which is good to see. So tell us what's the next kind of. So we've seen Jupiter at the moment; it's usable on the blockchain at the moment, and we can look at all the transaction, all good. What's the next step for Jupiter? What are you guys currently working on? What's the next phase?
So the next phase is, our next phase is what we're going to call, the working name is just the V1 launch. And so we don't think we're in V1 yet because we haven't yet aggregated all the major sources of liquidity. We're pretty close, but we haven't gotten it all.
Very close.
And there's a couple, other routing things that we want to be doing that we're working on. The second thing that we haven't done yet that we think is really important to our V1 is our integration libraries. So we haven't released that yet, but those integration libraries we think are really important. We want to make it super easy for any developer to integrate Jupiter in their wallet or dApp. And so we're actually there are three parts to the integration library that we're going to be releasing. The first one will be an NPN library, so that way anyone building a UI can take advantage of the swap functionality from Jupiter. And then the second one, which will be a little bit easier, will be a React component. So if you have a website and you don't, you can just drop this component in, and it has its own UI with some styling customizations, and then you can just get going right away. So and then the last part will be an API. A plug and play, yeah, for people who just want to, want to get going. And then the last thing will be an API for people. Like maybe you have a mobile wallet, and a lot of mobile wallets, if you have an app, an API is like usually the best way to integrate. So we're working on that too.
Awesome. Is there a timeline for that at the moment after you finish integrating all these other pools? What's V1? What's the timeline for V1?
Yeah, the timeline for V1 is within 2 weeks.
Oh, so
close. So it's really close. It's really close.
Awesome. So when V1 comes, I assume there will be a token. Mercurial has its own token. Will Jupiter be having its own token?
Jupiter will have its own token. When we do our V1 announcement, we're actually going to be sharing more details about that.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I don't mean to pry, but this is more of a utility token or a governance token. Is that public yet? Or not yet?
It isn't public yet. We haven't. We're still kind of discussing a number of things.
Yeah, sure.
Probably the only thing I could share with you about the token is that, overall, we want to get our token into the hands of our users and our community. We think it's really important in kind of establishing a strong base of supporters, and we actually do have plans to form a DAO for Jupiter. Awesome. And so I think that means that so for sure, probably I would say probably the token will have governance
components,
as part of it, and so that's why we also think it's important to launch it in the right way, so that people who are heavy users, very engaged users or strong community members, or even integration partners, can have a way to get really involved with the DAO. So
awesome. I won't probe any further. I won't ask you any more about that. But you did say you did mention a few things about community and kind of giving back to the rewarding people who first supported you guys. And I'm on your Discord at the moment on the left hand side of the screen, and we can see your Discord is super active sometimes. And there's lots of announcements about Jew Pioneers. Who are the Jew Pioneers?
Yeah, the Jew Pioneers. I mean, I guess you could call them the OGs, of Jupiter. But for us, it was really so. There's a couple principles or ideas for us in kind of forming this community. Like, one was that we're not going to do any airdrops or big incentives for people, because we really want to attract people who are fans of Jupiter, or fans of what we're doing, and just want to support us, because they really like the work that we're doing. More than the sort of the mercenary type, I'm looking for when token kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then
the locusts, they come, they deploy capital, and then they leave.
Yeah. And they leave, and it's just like, what's the point, right? Like, maybe you have good numbers, but like the foundation, the base of your community isn't like your true supporters, your true fans. And then the second idea I would say is that, I think some people are like, there's sort of this thing of like, hey, I've come in early, I deserve something, while we definitely appreciate people who come in early. Like, I'm not going to say, no, that's not worth anything. But for us, I think it's important to like separate out people who are actively contributing, who are giving back to the community, who are helping others, who are helping us make a better product. And helping like create a vibrant community, and Jupiter is sort of like a recognition of that. So,
yeah, that's cool. I think that's nice what you guys are doing. And I'm in the Discord. I contribute as well to these guys. I get to see everyone being super happy, people winning the Jew Pioneer roles. So they've got a really good community going. You guys are free to join. Like, I've got the Twitter up here, and they've got the link to the Discord. So just join and see what the community is like. It's really nice. So we've talked a bit about your team. Yeah, no problems. We talked about your team. We talked about the product a little bit. Do you have anything to share with the rest of the community at the moment? Like, we know what's happening next. Anything else you want to say?
Oh, only stay tuned. I think like people have been, waiting around and wanting to know the plans of our tokens.
They can wait.
So like we're really going.
Wait till it's ready.
They can wait. But we have a lot of really exciting things that a lot of campaigns, a lot of exciting things that we're actually looking to turn on once we announce those things and once we firm up those plans. And things are going to go. They're going to be turned up to 11, man. Awesome. It's going to be crazy. Awesome. So I can't wait to we can share all that with everyone.
Awesome. Let's shift gears a little bit if we can. Let's talk about Solana. So you're going to the Ignition. Do you have high hopes for Ignition? What's the current feeling at the moment over there?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I'll probably be frank. Like, I'm in my own little bubble right now. So I don't know if I can speak for everyone else or how everyone else is feeling.
Like, yeah. Like,
yeah. I mean, what?
Most of us will be watching online. I think we'll be able to stream it over here. So I'll be looking for you in the crowd somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably have a better sense when I'm there. But I'm a Solana maxi. Like, I really think this. I mean, this is right. Still a lot of rough parts, but I really love the people, and I think there's so much good talent, and they're solving hard problems, and there's a lot of good people here. And the fundamentals are pretty good. So like, I'm always just like pumped, man, to see stuff. So,
a true Solana maxi. What are your thoughts on the current like NFT status of Solana at the moment? I think it's actually slowed down. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, it's slowed down. I mean, actually, I would say that there are a lot of NFT projects launching on Solana, and they continue to increase, but they probably don't have like the big hype around them that like maybe the first wave has.
They're diluting.
Right? They're diluting a little bit. This is sort of, I feel like a calm before like the next wave of sort of, you know, NFTs that have some like, where it's not just a collectible, where it has functionality. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about NFTs and DeFi, some of the things that Orca has been doing. We actually have plans to have, we do NFTs, and so like we actually are having plans with NFT holders having special abilities with Jupiter and Mercurial. So nice. I think once the next wave of these kind of NFTs come out, like you're going to see the hype like kind of crest again, and then actually I think also, I mean, in general, a lot of people are like, building really cool. There's a lot of really good exploration of what NFTs can be, so
especially on a chain that gives you super fast like transaction speeds, low cost, that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, totally. And I mean, it's so easy. I mean, you're gonna honestly, I think one of the things that you're gonna see in Solana that you don't see as much. So one of the sort of pseudo benefits of like Ethereum's high gas fees is that like the fees make it kind of prohibitive for people for a lot of content. Like you have to be super invested in what you're gonna do.
I agree.
To actually launch an NFT collection, right? Since that cost isn't in Solana, anyone can launch anything, you know?
I've seen it.
And so you're going to get, you've seen it, right? Like, so
on Fiverr, it costs $4,000 to do a 10K generative mint. A freelancer will do it for you. Really? Yeah, $4,000.
No way. Wow. That's crazy. And like, I think there's good and bad to it. Like, I'm not against it, for that kind of thing. Because I think, yes, you're going to get a lot of low quality things, right? And I think people don't realize that the best T class, I know of some of them, and they work really hard. They work really hard to build up support, to build up momentum. It's not just launching a bunch of artwork and selling it. They have bigger visions, and they are constantly moving forward with things, and it's the same as running a business, really.
Right.
And that's what it takes to be successful. So the thing is, what I think is like, even though there might be a lot of low quality, I think at least there'll probably be an equal amount of people experimenting and trying things.
Yep.
And not afraid to, and from maybe those new mechanisms, really interesting things can happen. And I think that's one of the exciting things.
That's actually what I'm waiting
about
for.
What Solana sort of enabled.
That's what I'm waiting for as well. Like Solana has been a little bit different to some of the other EVM chains, and we haven't had any true Solana like unique protocols or like ideas that have come out. Everything has been that's been on Ethereum. Aggregator on Ethereum. We need some Solana specific stuff. Well, we're getting to around that 23-minute mark, so I think we'll start wrapping it up a little bit. I want to get your advice on something. So at the end of each interview I do ask yourself, what one piece of advice would you give to someone out there? I usually say, go out for an exercise once in a while. Don't look at your portfolio every day. We're in like all-time high territory. What kind of advice do you give to someone in or outside crypto?
Oh, wow. I would do something that you've never done before, or that you think you would never do, because I think it's really important to take yourself out of to not be locked into a mindset, and locked into familiarity. And I think it's a, like, so that could be like, I don't know, doing an activity. You're like, maybe you're not a water sports person, just going and trying, or like, yeah, taking a random trip, or doing, just maybe even just like, maybe if you're not used to talking to people, or just walking up to strangers, talking to them, like just
do it.
Like try different things. Yeah, just try different things, and then because I think that's one thing I try to do is just protect myself from just getting into a routine and into like a mindset, because then you just think that everything is a certain way, and it's not really. Life is very fluid, and it can change, and you can change with it.
I think that's really great advice. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to try new things, because you don't know, you might be missing something, and you might have loved it this whole time. I think that's really great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So we'll start to wrap it up at the moment. Benchow, thank you very much for coming on. We've been talking about Jupiter, slightly Mercurial as well. So Jupiter is an aggregator on Solana blockchain at the moment. Benchow, thank you very much for coming on. I hope Solana Ignition goes. The conference goes really well in Lisbon. Are you excited for it?
Yeah, totally. Super pumped, man.
Awesome. And I hope sometime we might have like an Australian kind of conference that I might be able to go as well. I can't leave Australia at the moment, so that's really unfortunate.
Oh yeah, I hope so too. I'd love to visit. I think it'd be great.
All right. So thank you very much for coming on again. So this has been the Metaverse Explorer. We've been talking to Benchow from Jupiter. Can you tell everyone where they can actually find you? We have the Twitter up at the moment. Where else can they find you?
So our URL is jup.ag. So that's jup.ag.
Awesome. And so you also have a Discord, and you have a few members in there as well, which is awesome. Yeah. That's it. Okay. Thank you very much, Benchow, for joining us. I really appreciate it. We might see you later when V1 launches, and we might have another chat soon if you're happy.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having.
All good. Okay, guys. See you later. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.